As another experiment, we're throwing up a recorded live stream with a bunch of the bits cut out, with a bunch of the paint mixer and bathroom breaks and hair dryer and really just anything cut out. Enjoy. But can you hear me speaking? I had a clever plan, but then when I tried to set up the Twitch app, it just kept updating and stuff. Can you hear music, and is it obnoxiously mixed with music? Does it sound, does me speaking and the music sound good? And if so, thank you. If not, thank you. And there's like a 30-second delay between saying anything and it going out, so I'll just assume everything is fine. And keep setting up a bit crackly is fine. It's just playing off my phone. Yeah, so I'm just going to assume everything is fine, and it's all fine, and there's nothing to worry about. And then I'm going to stop setting up my wet palette and start getting out my paint washes. That's what I mean. I don't need to set up the wet palette to do washes. Thank you, Amy. Please continue doing whatever you were or were not or have been or wished to be doing. I haven't checked the internet in a week. Is calling somebody by their real name when they're talking to you on Twitch doxing now?
I'm good. Another level smashed. What a perfect match. Hi, Simon. We're ready to go on stage. I'm busy playing Raw Match. Oh, okay. But they're all waiting.
It'd be funny if I got copyright struck for the YouTube ads playing on the soundtrack. It'd be funny if Twitch was like, no, the YouTube ads, they're copyrighted. Because they probably are.
YouTube Premium is ad free YouTube. YouTube Music Premium, a whole app just for
Whoever posted this music said it's DMCA free. I want to think the best of them, but I'm suddenly thinking we're not worried about the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. We're worried about being pirated music that the authors intended for something other than this. So it's a bit. Who cares if it's DMCA free? It's like. So I made a video of how I painted these and tried to post it as an April Fool's joke, and that just went terribly. But the first step was, and remains, covering most of the model in Dryland Flesh shade, and a few parts in Coelia Green shade. So I'm going to try to calm the heck down and do this sensibly. I'm gonna skip this big rubber plate, rubber shoulder pad, because it's gonna be an armored plate when the model's finished. And swing, adjust the lamp. Y'all got any lamps?
I feel like I have to remind myself to breathe sometimes. Remind myself that the sky is not falling, that there is no other shoe, which is incredibly difficult because there's always another shoe.
Don't freak out and go calling for mom.
Windows Defender did not find any threats. Good to know, I guess, but it's worrying that I was just spontaneously informed of the existence of threats. I mean, did it really not find... Did Windows Defender just pop up to say it did not find any threats because there are no threats? Or did it just pop up to say it could not find any threats because it did find threats and it's being threatened?
Download the Timu app and shop like a billionaire.
So... Oh! Yes! It's annoying. Me realizing, since I didn't acknowledge the message 5 minutes ago, I probably shouldn't acknowledge it now. Because that time lag just makes me look bad, right? Should I acknowledge the message if I'm late? I probably shouldn't be scratching my eyebrows on stream. Next color, Coelia Green shade, is going on the hood and the cowl and the little loin ribbon. Yes. Of course, it's too close to everything else, so I should hair dryer first.
Love playing that game.
What makes you think that?
Now let's see if we can get you back into that little peg hole. go. Yeah, I don't want it pointing right at this. Oh, it's got a point right at the base because the little. Okay. Watch as I spend all stream trying to reposition a miniature on the handle. Okay. I'm going to do the Coelia green shade on the loin ribbon and the hood and the cowl, and I'm already seeing places that I missed with the Reichland flesh shade. I'm using a Logitech C270 camera, but I took it apart and readjusted the focus of the lens, since that's actually something that's not too hard to do. But when I bought it, I was going nuts because I spent weeks looking for, because I thought I already had one and I couldn't find it. I didn't remember it breaking. I remembered buying one and thinking, I'm never going to use this because I've got the Pro one from work, but don't work there anymore. Anyway, yeah, no, I found this, the original, the other one, so in theory I could have one camera set up for macro and the other camera set up for super macro, and well, I could just be talking about nothing all the time. The cameras, I think it's usually less than 20 pounds. I think it was less than 20 pounds last time, but it's been in my closet for a year, which is why I couldn't find it. It's in my closet with the small box of spare electricals from back in the day when I naively assumed I would simplify and declutter my life so I would only have one box of spare electrical gizmos. Now I have a much larger box of spare electrical gizmos, but it didn't include the camera. So there's the feller with just the green shades done. Just the two under shades, under washes. I don't know if that's about 10 minutes or 20 minutes that I've been working. Hairdryer time. I don't remember where my palette is. No, the other palette. It's not where I left it. So it must be somewhere I didn't think I left it.
Did you see with Voxel? You can get unlimited social media for just
How do you
£10.
lose anything in a room this
They've
small?
not one person sliding into your DMs though.
So rude.
Unlimited social media, the fun never ends.
Oh, it's under
Set to social apps in UK, T&Cs apply.
something else. to get some moisture on the brush. I know we're supposed to use funny sponges for dry brushing. I just haven't gotten it to work the way I think it should. So I might be getting used to when I think of, gee, I want this to look, or gee, I want to make this dry brushed, I might now be thinking of, I want this to look the way that it looks when you do the bad dry brushing. Like the bad dry brushing may be my intended purpose. I want those sharp, scratchy edges. Now I think I picked up some of the green shade. I guess it's okay, but I'm just noticing that the crossbow and stuff is getting a slight turquoise tint. I'm going to put more paint on this and then watch more closely what I do. So he's standing on this little skull that I don't think I've got in focus. This little chunk of debris has a skull and some pipes. Oh, I'm going to avoid emphasizing that in this paint, in this particular model, since I think it was emphasized on the gang leader so well. Probably should have had the other models from this gang on hand for reference. Let's just let the dry brushing dry while I try to clean off the dry brush my dry brushing brush. I'm not actually doing a lot of blending lately, or ever, which sort of nullifies the big advantage of the wet palette. Negates, not nullifies. So, what's going on? The basic model is up and done, and technically that's 3 colors. So that's primer, the zenithal highlight, which doesn't count, Reichland flesh shade on the majority of the model, so that's color 1, Coelia green shade on the sort of flare bits of the model, so that could be counted as color 2, and then the dry brushing of pale sand could be counted as color 3. So technically the model is tournament legal, it's just on the wrong... No, wait, it is on the right side of base. Sort of base. It's, but just thought I'd mention that. So next, I want to do the human bits. The skin and hair. And I need to get out a paint from the cabinet. The cabinet where I keep all the spare paints that I haven't opened yet, because they are, well, there's a cabinet where I keep the duplicates of paints that I got for some reason beyond my control. Now, do I have, ooh, this is not looking great. Oh, wait, nope, here it is. Here it is. That's an Agrax Earth shade. That's okay, so that smells good. My little jar of paints, unopened paint pot smells good, which means something's leaking. So this is not the new generation of Agrax Earth shade, nor is it the previous generation of Agrax Earth shade. This is the one from the generation before the previous generation. And the provinces for that sort of work out that the generation of Agrax Earth shade that was introduced along with, or that was being made along with Contrast, uses this sort of branding, Citadel color, whereas this one just uses the Moira Citadel. Okay, so cool. So the current generation of Agrax Earth shade comes in one of these 18 milliliter pots. The generation before this generation had the Citadel color branding, and then this had Citadel color branding, and then it would say Agrax Earth shade. This generation is from the one before that. It's from Age of Sigmar 2nd edition. But it's not even the color I'm using next. Ugh! So for the hair and flesh, I don't think this guy's actually got any exposed hair, so I might not need it. The recipe I'm using is to start with dark flesh tone and sort of thin that down a little bit, get it all over the flesh. Then use heavy gold brown on any exposed hair. Then come back with Agrax Earth shade and sort of taper almost, or blend or gradient with the hair from this heavy gold brown into a more flesh tone color. And then finally highlight anything like chins or knuckles or anything that's really sticking out with squid pink. And my dark flesh tone has this nice separation here. So I'm running it through my goofy little tattoo mixer. I don't think I get notifications if people join the channel unless they say something. Or join the chat unless they say something. Or start what? Yes, so I don't see any notification if people start watching. Much steadier. There's still some ginger tea on screen. There's still some unsteadiness. Yes, I know what Rene's syndrome is. I'm not answering anyone, I'm talking to myself. Okay, cool. So, can I do this? Can I get the... the paints I'm using and the palette in frame while I'm painting this? Maybe. And there's probably much more paint than I need. Oh, and it's already separating. Amazing. Sort of get it on the tip of the brush and also send it back to wherever it came. That's very runny. So I'm going to blot it off on the tissue. I'm going to wipe some more off on the palette to try and get it even thinner. I'm not going to need the hair. So it looks like, this might look like solid coverage. It's not. But you know what? With all those silly steps I did beforehand, this beautiful, rich kidney bean brown just sort of looks perfectly fine with partial coverage. Remember when I got really excited about positioning things in the background of the shot? Well, that was a whole 20 seconds ago, so I'm just moving everything around. And earlier, when I was working with the model, I dropped it, which is why I've now got floor lint on it. Something I always ask mini painting streamers, but only if you think you see them do it, is whether they just licked their brush. But adding to that, today I haven't licked my brush, but I think I've discovered when someone's streaming this sort of thing, you can tease them and check with them. Did you just drop the model? Design a painting handle with the camera attached. Oh, then you couldn't rotate it. I should design that other painting handle I want. I should quit talking to myself like this because it's distracting me. Whatever. Look at that. I'm almost done with the skin tone. I could have used a pea-sized blob of paint, but instead I have a 5p. I could have used a garden pea sized blob of paint, but instead I have a 5p sized blob of paint. What else did I want to show off? You really can't see it. Some of the Reichland flesh shade dried in a really nice looking way for rust, but it's not rust. And it's going to get painted over. But, well, it's going to get painted over, so it doesn't matter that it dried like rust. I just thought it was cool and worth pointing out. Where's the actual lens? Look. No hair to fix, only skin to highlight. It still doesn't sound right. Okay, so just a few. Okay, this isn't working. It's too much paint. So the brush should be clean. I used to use this brush for texture paste, and now it's still in good shape. Okay, so my point is the brush is clean. I'm allowed to lick it. No flavor. So I'm trying to just get the smallest smidge. And work that smidge. And then just you can see where the finger's much too. Actually, I'm gonna repaint the finger. I'm gonna panic and try to get the paint out of the knuckles. I'm getting notifications from my sister. I think they put a restraining order on another customer at her work. Like, someone was threatening to deport her. She's born in the USA and stuff, but the woman decided, because she's working in a grocery store, she must be an illegal. Anyway, the woman then went on to like live stream getting thrown out of the grocery store for yelling at staff, and sent it to the company's lawyer, who's like, ooh, ooh. It's like, where are they going to deport me? Massachusetts? So I'm just trying to scratch the hand knuckle stand here. That's not a fire alarm, I don't have to worry. This isn't working. So let's cheat. It's not quite right. It's much less aggressive. So yeah, that mix of brown and pink I will paint onto the knuckles with no attempts at opacity. I've sewed with thread bigger than these knuckles. I don't mean like sewing with yarn, I mean pop, pop, pop. And get a little blemish, and I'm going to call that a little pink blemish. And I'm going to give you a little pink chin, and then this little pink scowly jowlies. Ah! There's a bit that sticks up.
I feel like I have to remind myself to breathe sometimes. Remind myself that the sky is not falling. That there is no other shoe. Which is incredibly difficult because there's always another shoe.
Oh, don't freak out and go calling for mom.
At BP, whilst today we're mostly in oil and gas, we're increasing investments into our lower carbon businesses, like hydrogen, and keeping oil and gas flowing where and when it's needed.
10 knots.
And not all. That's how BP is backing Britain.
Skip. What else have I used today? And I think so. Moving out, the next color would be the olive. Could use camouflage green. I thought I had an olive green. Good old goblin green, dead flesh. No bones, though. Oh, here we are. Okay. So there's some big mess of general, vague, know-nothing robes here. For that, I'm going to use this yellow olive. But, again, you can see this really splendid separation. So it's starting to break up. There's an agitator in here. Hopefully it's one of the good ones that won't rust. I swear the paint company Multo used to, like a month ago, was selling their agitator beads on their own. And I went back looking for them and couldn't find them. Couldn't find them on the website. Okay, so I'm going to say loosen everything first with the paint mixer. Then do the heavy work of really breaking everything into little bits by hand. And then use the vortex mixer again to get the fine materials mixed. Because otherwise, when I open this, it's just going to be this big greasy glob of resin with no pigment. I can't tell if that's getting any better. I hope that's close enough. I'm going to put the used paints over here. So I think this up here is more straps. With this feller's sort of robes, cassock. Did I? This sort of robe or cassock thing is definitely everywhere. I am everywhere. And just sort of doing one thin coat, letting the shenanigans with the dry brushing and the zenithal highlight and the undershading just sort of show through. Almost done. Gotta do the right sort of kidney here. And then, ooh, this other side here. It's not great, but it's also a very difficult area to see. So I'm not doing the sides of these little ribbed things, and I'm not doing whatever this swoosh here is. I think that's a mold line issue. Like I think that's where I think that bit's shaped like that because the mold had to close like this over the design. I gotta go check my notes. I think next is the primary cloth and then the accent color of the cloth. And then following that, I want to highlight the cloth right away rather than leave it until a later stage. Yeah. Okay. What is that card? my very scruffy bottle of Falcon Turquoise. I believe this is the first generation of... I believe these are the first generation of game color paints. You can tell because there's no white backing and they only have the single number. And let's see if I can find a second generation. That might be a second gen. No, that's not a second. That's at least a third. Okay, this would then be a second generation game color paint. Sorry. Excuse me. Let me try again. A scruffy first generation game color paint. The distinctive thing about the first generation of game color paint wasn't the lack of backing, but the fact that they just had the number, whereas the second generation began to also add the paint type. Game colors are always start with 72, whereas something like model color starts with a 70, and metal color starts with a 77. The primers have different numbers depending on their sizes. But the normal ones we all expect are 73. The thinner is 71. Their sort of technicals are also considered model color, so they start with a 70. But the game color, whether it's an extra opaque or whatnot, starts with a 72. So this is a pretty old paint. Solid as a brick. You know what? Never seen it separate. Don't think I've seen it separate. You can also sort of see this distinctive, completely different material lid. And oh dear God, I really hope that this is one of the ones I replaced. I got a replacement for. Now let's get my Poundland dental pick out. Not I hope. I wish this had been one of the ones that I'd replaced. I've never tried to clear the nozzle with a toothpick before. Apparently, that's an option. And while we're here, let's get the whole thing jammed into the paint bottle. I should really just turn the camera so yeah. don't know if that means there's only that much paint in the bottle. I'm going to put this in the trash. I don't know if that means there's only that much paint in the bottle, but I know I no longer really have to worry about this clogging, since I've got a way to clear it. Perfection. This dental pick will remain delightful for other purposes. Don't know what, but... I should have one of these cameras set up on the pallet. Ah! Moth! Too glazy. I want thicker. I want not too thick. I want thinner. It's important to test this out on very prominent parts of the model. Okay, so apparently I just wanted watered paint. I didn't need the glaze medium. And what I hadn't expected was how nice it would look to bring it just to the edge and leave the sort of lighter let's try a little bit thicker for this pit because it's not cooperating. So leaving the lighter dry brushing visible. I think Useless Wizard had a video on thinning paint, and his sort of thing was that there's no actually correct ratio. To that I would add that the correct ratio for thinning paint, for water to paint when thinning paint, is the ratio that gets the paint to behave the way you need it to, you want it to, you expect it to. Whereas the correct size of paintbrush is always a bigger one. I'm gonna go cook some bolognese and take a nap.
Voxel plans come with super fast 5G.
Speed demon.
Leave those stitches, leave the seams and the edges, leave them visible, leave them just a little bit brighter. Oh wow, that hurt. Not the leaving brighter, just shifting like that really made my back displeased with my life decisions. I know I just said I was going to leave the rims untouched, but this rim is much too big to leave alone. Sort of rim of his cowl or shawl. And my brush is too dry. I think my brush is too dry. If you think your brush is too dry, it might be too dry. Can't really get at a lot more of that cowl. There's a hood.
If it's not your fault, it's our business. We are injury lawyers for you.
Whatever. Okay, wait, that means I'm over an hour in. Okay, so next color is this guy. It's actually red. I know it looks brown. I'm not quite sure how to fix that now that I've realized it's a problem. Whatever. This is the next color, but before I do it, I gotta go. I want to go. What do I want to do? I want to go get the previous version. That I want to. Okay, the next color is gonna be the bloody red, but before I switch to it, before I switch to bloody red, I want to get the finished versions of these to use as a reference. And I also would really love it if this stupid OBS thing would let me click on it. And we're back, and we have the two previous ones, which are very different. A little bit different, because they don't use turquoise for all their hoods. So we're going to see some change. Alright, but the red can go on the visory bit of the thing, of the hood. And then I don't know. Well, I don't know. Are you loose? Yes, you are. But I'm witch. You're a witch. No, not a witch. I'm your witch. You're a witch. No, you're not a witch. We're not a witch. You're not a witch. No. Okay. Then it's settled. It's settled. Burn the witch. Yes. With a hook. We can't hook witches. Why not? That's witchcraft. Oh no. Am I a witch? No, you're not a witch. How do you know? Because I say so. I'm starting to think our religious system may or may not be problematically hypocritical. That sounds like witch speak! I don't know how I did these bases. I'm gonna stress about that. So, tiny drop of red, sort of water it down, and I wish I liked fruit. Sort of water it down and spread it out, and now we are ready for a tiny clockweiser. Oh yeah, that's what I remember. I wonder if I have any spring rolls in the freezer. Okay. I guess that's red. Done. So now, if I want to do next, if I want to do the next step of this colored cloth, it will be foul green. Nobody here. This is like faded AstroTurf green. So, I feel like most of the paint has mixed up, which is why it's this steady color. Except for like some clinging stuff here on the rim. And I don't really have a way to get in there and scrape it and knock it loose. Maybe if I squeeze. I think I need another sheet of paper. Maybe not. Huh. I opened the bottle and the paint went down. Just a little 2 sesame seeds of color. Much too thick. Much too thick. Your August addiction of clock tower connection. Oh. Do I still have... The bank where I grew up had a clock tower on it. I wasn't aware they were sending out newsletters. I'm also... didn't think I still had an account. I didn't, like, say delete me, but I wasn't aware I still had an account with them. Maybe I'm just getting it anyway. Little bit. Scritch, scratch, colorful splash. Little bit, little bit, little bit. Little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Yeah, this should have all been as a watery glaze. Anyway, just a little bit. Forgot the loin ribbon. Looking pretty good. Other than the forgotten loin ribbon. And that means I can test if I'm right about how I should have done. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I should have just done this whole model with just water. Okay, maybe not just water. And definitely not too thin, but... Okay. Din 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 din. Look at that magnificent consistency and oh! It breaks up and falls off almost perfectly. Off-screen dots. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Get some chunkier thickerness. Okay, so now so a friend said, try LARP. And I said, I should go outside and do things with people like trying LARP. Haven't done it. Have joined the LARP's Chit Chat channel. And a while ago they mentioned taking up Blood Bowl.
The Pokemon Sleep app lets you track
I
your sleep with your
don't
smartphone
know
and fill up your sleep
if
tracker.
they're only playing Blood Bowl on the field, when they're camping.
Each species has multiple styles. For
But
example,
regardless, it makes me want
has
to
droopy-eared sleep.
buy and paint up the Mud Creek nose pickers, the Snotling team.
The more sleep you get, the more progress you can make on your sleep style decks. By day, try giving Snorlax berries and making it food and drinks. Feeding Snorlax will increase its strength. When bedtime comes, you can track your sleep. If you get lots of sleep, your sleep score will...
I need to start playing Sleepy Town again. Alright, fuck it. There we go. What is this? I don't remember buying this. I want Cold Gray next, but I also have a brand new Stonewall Gray I don't remember buying. Which is not my favorite gray. Somber Gray, this weird purpley gray, has got to be my favorite. I just can't find cases to use it. There. I found a piece of paper that's not been touched. Yeah, this isn't mixed. It's not great, but I think it'll be fine. I very rarely empty the paint water cup. It usually just evaporates. Probably because my water bowl's usually only that full. Everything just shifted over there. I want water. I want human water. Where is a very unprominent example of this? Hecking gosh, there's an ankle! It's an exposed ankle. How scandalous. Alright. Fine. This is going on as a conventional layer. And heck the man. So there's two. That's two ankles, right? Yeah. I guess they've got different upper bodies? No, I just didn't get it right on that guy. And Vodafone, it took forever to get messages from anyone.
Don't worry, you're on full fibre. The UK's
I don't know why,
technology.
but it would just 2 or 3 days later I'd get text messages from people.
Reliable broadband without the
Maybe not 2 or 3. Okay, so I thought it was... I kept having fights with X because I was missing messages from her. And she thought I was just ignoring her. Like stuff like, hey, I'm out of milk, can you bring milk over? And, you know, I'd go over, we'd have dinner, take a snooze, and then the next morning, she'd be like, oh, I asked you to bring milk. It's like, no, you didn't. It's like, yes, I sent you a message yesterday about milk. Okay, well, I didn't get it, and I pull out my phone and it wasn't there. And the sort of pièce de la résistance was the time this happened, and as we were arguing that, did you delete the message? Because I sent it. She didn't have her copy of the message. My phone just sort of beeps as we're both sitting there and looking at it, and it's got the message. And that was like when the message came in. So that was sort of my experience of Vodafone, of their messages are super duper slow. And they just aren't delivered anywhere near when they're sent. And then when I had Virgin Broadband, I had it for about 3 months, and then they immediately like throttled the connection to nothing. You know, I was in the middle of a year-long contract, so I couldn't really get out of it. Tech support kept insisting I was breaking the law. I wasn't breaking the law. I downloaded 2 or 3 CD images that weekend. I wanted to try setting up Linux on an old laptop for a work project. Anyway, the way their throttling worked is they throttled you if they thought you were using too much if they thought you were doing something illegal or using too much bandwidth. They didn't report the police, they just broke their contract. They didn't break their contract, they just did what anyone else would say. That's kind of sounds like you're breaking your contract, bro. Anyway, so they did that. But you also got moved into the category of people they had throttled. And as long as you were using more bandwidth than they thought you were, you'd stay in the category of people that were throttled. And I think they were assessing my bandwidth usage because I continued to like try and watch Netflix and YouTube. They were assessing that against other people who were throttled. So I'm guessing most people who have their home internet throttled then stop using it for a week or two, or stop pirating songs or whatever they're doing for a week or two, which I wasn't doing. And usage goes down and gets unthrottled. Well, as I said, I wasn't doing any of the things they said not to do. I wasn't doing anything illegal. So I kept using the modem at the terrible speed they allowed. Virgin Media's absolutely garbage connection speeds, and contract never went down, so just was apparently throttled for the rest of the contract, and immediately switched providers to someone who explicitly stated their whole jam was they'd advise you if they were before they throttled your connection. Teeny little company that was then bought out by Sky. And I'm now trying to pick out these stupid straps. doing a bit of a pig's ear of it. But that will be something that the washes come in and rescue me from. Oop, almost forgot the... That was a really weird noise. Let me give that a moment to dry while I check my plans. These don't make a lot of sense. Alright, these make much more sense. So I think I've done about half of this model. That's not great for 2 hours. That's not great for 2 hours. So, I know I'm tired as hell. And I'm trying to work out if I should just stop for tonight. I have filled up the little palette paper. Two thoughts. One, this is the first time in a while I haven't torn the O-ring off. And two, this is the first time ever that's happened and the O-rings come flying off when I've tried to open the pot. Where is my pot holder widget? Let's shake it a little more. That looks dry. You can hopefully see that the brown is bringing back a lot of definition of shape. I don't know if this Agrax Earth shade is thinner than the pot I had before, but it certainly doesn't appear to be shading the way I would have expected. So I'm going in with more of it, and more, and more. And now that's what I want. Majestic. It's okay. Just a squirty bottle. It's okay, it's just a bottle of liquid falling onto my carpet on the top floor of my house, where I currently have electrical problems. All right. So, gunmetal? Do I have a gunmetal? Do I have a metal color gunmetal? I do. Which means I do have gunmetal. Which means, damn, that's actually ideal. Coloration and posing. Anyway, I do have a gunmetal, which makes the idea of continuing to paint these tempting. But I'm exhausted, so I'm either going to finish this next week or off stream. I don't know if anyone's still watching. I haven't yet developed my Twitch expertise enough to work that detail out. So, if you're still watching, thank you for watching. If you just started watching, thank you for watching. If you have watched or are watching in the future, thank you. I'm going to hope that this was amusing, if not educational. And I'm going to go design 3D printed painting handles to make this part of my life easier. No, that's not what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? I'm going to go to sleep. No, I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to go make spaghetti. I don't know if I'm going to make spaghetti. I'm going to go do something else without an audience. And maybe I'll finish this off screen. Maybe I'll finish it next Thursday at 8 p.m. There's actually a couple of things I want to paint. No, I've got a box of 6 models to paint that I can't paint next Thursday at 6 p.m. because 8 p.m. because it's a gift, and so I don't do gifts on screen. I like them so far.